imagine LMU producing more Emmy and Peabody award-winning journalists than any other university in the country.
I imagine a world where marketing becomes a force for societal good, with LMU students and alums at the forefront of this revolution by the magnitude of their creativity, critical thinking, and curiosity.
I imagine LMU students who continue to develop their leadership skills all the way to the Oval Office, where they can inspire a sense of human dignity and global responsibility.
I imagine hosting national and international performing and visual artists in LMU's world-class Performing Arts Center.
I imagine a day when LMU students perform 1 million hours of community service and require the same of those around them as they go on to lead Fortune 500 companies and occupy the Oval Office.
I imagine LMU redefining teacher training through international experiences with Teach for the Philippines and other Teach for All organizations in Southeast Asia.
I imagine Seaver continuing its commitment to educate our future leaders who will tackle the world's most pressing challenges.
I imagine a scholarship student from California's 43rd District who graduates with honors from LMU, goes on to study medicine, makes a major breakthrough in brain research, leads a team which creates a successful treatment for Alzheimer's disease, and donates the profits from the medicine to more scholarships at Loyola Marymount University.
I imagine thanking LMU and the Los Angeles Loyolan when I received my Peabody Award for Excellence in covering the 2020 presidential election.
I imagine that my research helps figure out the recipe for the secret sauce that makes great teaching.
I imagine our LMU Lions walking off the court in triumph after winning the NCAA Division I title in men's basketball.
I imagine a world where LMU students transform the field of education and our understanding of cultural identity, where educators pioneer new methodologies for inclusion and social equity.
I imagine the day when an LMU graduate first mathematically models and then successfully lands quintuple cork.
I imagine a film industry where creative ideas and content are inspired and produced by women filmmakers, starting with LMU alumni.
I imagine sitting on the bench of the U.S. Supreme Court and writing the deciding opinion on a landmark case argued by a fellow alum of Loyola Law School, Los Angeles.
I imagine a day when our volume of recycling plastic goes down at LMU, not because we aren't recycling, but because we aren't using plastic anymore.
I imagine hitting a home run in the bottom of the ninth to win Game 7 of the World Series.
I can imagine an alumni student from LMU winning an Academy Award someday.
I imagine a day in the distant future when we will have a sit-down with inhabitants of some distant world, and we can have a kind of cosmic coming of age where we all talk about how we've gone about figuring out the universe. But before that meeting, I want us humans to finally crack the quantum theory of gravity, to understand the cosmic singularity of the Big Bang, to understand how the universe really began. I want to go into the meeting with that knowledge, because that would be fun.
I imagine all the important people who pass through this global hub of Los Angeles thinking of LMU as a must-visit place for interesting conversation, like Gertrude Stein's apartment in Paris in the 1920s.
I imagine the Google LMU Cybersecurity Institute at Loyola Law School. This is a place where legal scholars, engineers, and entrepreneurs come together to discuss challenging global cybersecurity and data privacy issues and to collaborate in designing innovative solutions.
I imagine hosting my popular YouTube series On the Surface of Mars and having the first interplanetary hit show.
I imagine returning to LMU for college and changing the world as a lion in the class of 2029.
I imagine LMU producing an entrepreneur who creates a company so innovative that Elon Musk sends his resume.
I imagine arguing a landmark case in front of the United States Supreme Court.
I imagine scoring the golden goal on Sullivan Field to win the College Cup for the Lions and celebrating with a cheeseburger and chocolate shake at Iggy's afterwards.
I imagine an education that knows no boundaries, that continues beyond the walls of the classroom,
that embraces theory and practice, and that is faithful to the Jesuit ideals of educating the whole person and finding God in all things.
I imagine a Seaver student linking social justice with international research experiences that go beyond academic tourism to win a Nobel Peace Prize.
I imagine a day when Loyola Law School's guiding principle, that law is about justice for all people, is fully embraced by every nation on earth.
I imagine students in China reading my book about Jesus and engaging them in a dialogue about their own spiritual journeys.
I imagine LMU as the premier Catholic university in the United States and being a place where scholars from around the world come to work on religion and interfaith dialogue.
I imagine LMU alumni as chief executives of the IMF and the World Bank and being role models of the Magis by providing economic opportunities on a global scale for all those who seek it.
I imagine because of LMU, the circle of compassion will widen and those who are outside will be welcomed in.
I imagine our graduates making breakthrough inventions that lead the way to an environmentally sustainable and socially just future.
I imagine the LMU endowment will reach $30 billion so that every qualified, deserving student can afford to attend.
I imagine a world and a universe transformed, but I cannot imagine realizing this vision without the students, faculty, staff, and alumni of LMU.